Thank you so very much this afternoon. It's evening already. This is 5 o'clock. Thank you so very much this evening for those of you joining us on the John Mayaki Show. Today, we are here to discuss a lot of things happening in the polity. A lot is happening in Nigeria. And so we have the topic for the day as we're going to be discussing Wike on Atiku's throat. What we mean by that is the crisis in the PDP, particularly coming from Rivers State Governor. It's interesting. Somebody said he went to court against Atiku and Sokoto State Governor, but Wike said no, he didn't go to court. Some guys in Atiku's camp went to court to sabotage Atiku. We're also going to be discussing Obaseki's promises. Just one of them, just one. He's a wonderful governor, great governor. He's our man. So we need to support him to develop the state. But he made a promise last year, just a year now, when he made that promise, that he was going to fix a portion of a road in Edo State. It's a federal road, nevertheless. He promised to fix it. Last week, some guys protested that the governor has not fixed that portion of the road. We're going to be discussing that. We're also going to be discussing pirates Emi'lokan. You know, some guys, they call themselves pirates. They went on the streets and they started chanting some terrible songs and trying to ridicule the candidate of the All Progressive Congress. You know, you don't insult people because of their health condition. You don't go to that level. You don't insult a man because he's old. You know, you want to be old. You also need to respect old age. You don't denigrate someone because, oh, this person is mentally deranged. This person has one eye. This person is no. You can't do that. You can't do that. You are not God. You can't do that. But we'll look at all those. Have you seen where Elru wrote a letter to the president? Tell him, Mr. President, I think I'm not sure I can cope with this anymore. Terrorists have taken over. You know, they have a government in my state. They have their leadership. They play their politics. They have their market. They're almost having their currency in Kaduna State. Elru wrote a letter to the president. But don't forget that Benue State Governor also did a letter to the president setting up a community-based security guards to secure Benue State. He wrote a letter to the president, said, Mr. President, please approve some arms for us. Give us arms license for arms. He sent it to the president. Look at Amotekun, what they are doing in Ondo State, in Southwest State. These guys are ready. Why is Elru crying here and there, asking the president, oh, they are here, I can't do anything. What are you not doing? You need to do something, Mr. Governor. You need to do something. So we are going to look at all of those. We're going to look at all of those today. Joining me on the program is our analyst on the show, Mr. Zachary Idris. Mr. Zachary, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me and having me.
Good. Thank you so very much, Mr. Zachary. If you are joining us on the show and you want to make calls, the phone number to call is right there on the screen. Call us. We've also sent to those of our guests who want to be part of this show, we've sent you the Zoom link. Also join us if you're watching us live. Mr. Zachary, what is happening in the PDP? Wike said he didn't go to court. Wike said so. He said he didn't go. But have you seen today's newspapers? All the newspapers, they fell for it. Oh, Rivers State Governor is in court. He wants to stop Atiku. He wants to do this. The Mr. Governor said no now. He said he's not a kid. How can you go to court a month or two after party primaries? How do you see that coming? And what is the impact of Wike's action on PDP?
Well, thank you once again for having me. You have to look at the issues from the beginning, from the root of it. I think the article, there are two camps now. PDP has splintered into a number of camps. There is the PDP, the People's Democratic Party. There is the PDP that left with Peter Obi to Labour Party. There is the PDP that left with Kwankwanso to New Nigeria People's Party. And then there is the PDP that is pro-Wike, still within the PDP, but not in the PDP. I mean, Otherwise, how do you explain that commissioning of projects in Rivers State for the past 1 month or thereabout has all been done by APC stalwarts? So that's a pointer to some of the issues that are currently plaguing the post-democratic party. These kind of issues are not strange, they are not new in politics, but however, the circumstances of this one is particularly new. Wike's grouse is justified, and I will explain. In 2019, Atiku won the party ticket, the PDP presidential ticket, and he contested that election to be president, and he lost to President Muhammadu Buhari in the elections. Shortly after, he left Nigeria and spent 2 years and 6 months in Dubai and elsewhere. He came back, he resurfaced just recently to contest these primaries again, and clearly, because of the over-dollarization of the process, he was able to win these primaries. You must keep in mind that in the time that Atiku left the PDP, and even before then, when he went to the APC in 2014, contested in the primaries of 2014-15, contested the primary and lost, people have maintained the party right from the time that PDP lost power in the center. And in the forefront of those who have maintained the party is the person of Barrister Nyesom Wike. He has, at a point, it was even said that he was funding some of the state chapters of the PDP who could not take care of themselves because they did not have a PDP governor in that state. So he carried everybody along, only for Atiku to come. It was more like he was saving his money for the rainy days, and came with a lot of the money and won this primary against, the popular demand in PDP. People came out very, strongly in the PDP and insisted that power must go to Wike and the South in this case. Now, again, you must also know that another part of the problem, another dimension to the problem they have in PDP now is the fact that it is agreed, it is written in the PDP constitution that power, there will be rotation of power, there will be rotational presidency. It then means that the chairman of the party and the presidential candidate of the party must not come from the same part of the country. And, the country is broadly divided into north and south. Now, we have a situation where the presidential candidate of the PDP is from the northeast and the national chairman of the PDP is from the north central. That's, again, is an unacceptable occurrence that is going on presently in the PDP. In addition to that, there is also this constitutional agreement within the PDP. It's in their constitution that there must be rotational presidency. I mentioned it before, but in a different dimension now. That is to say that having had 8 years of Buhari and having had a presidential candidate from the north in 2019, keep in mind, in 2019, no Southerner bought form to contest for president under the PDP. No Southerner. Atiku again has untwisted leaders of the PDP that has maintained the party over time and won this ticket against the run of play. In this case, against the constitutional provision that power must return to the South. If you add all this together, you see that there is no way that you will not have contestations in this scenario, because there is gross, what I would call gross mismanagement of party rules and regulations, gross mismanagement of those who have been loyal to the party. Now, you want to talk about those who have been loyal to the party. Nyesom Wike has been loyal to the party since the beginning of this, our present democracy in 1999. Atiku has come back, has gone to ACN, has gone to APC, came back to PDP. Most of them who are in the corridors of power today in the PDP have left at one point or the other, including the present national chairman, Yocha Ayu. But Wike has been there. So if it is reward for loyalty, Wike ought to have the right of first refusal. Now, to further complicate things, having lost the primaries, the man went about his business and went to sit down in Rivers State and was quiet. The Atiku men in PDP started attacking him on a daily basis on national TV and radio. Muaz Babangida Aliyu, Sule Lamido, they continued to talk against him and he did not mention, did not talk to them. And on top of that, they further wanted to demystify him. They dangled the vice presidential ticket on his face, and in the 11th hour, they withdrew it from him. It is even said that the committee that was set up by the party to pick a vice presidential candidate voted 14-3 in support of a wicked vice presidential candidate to compensate him for his work in the party, only for the presidential candidate to veto that committee, which is within his constitutional right. But you don't put something in front of somebody and then take it back. The man didn't say he wanted it. People approached him for the sake of the unity of the party. check the position of BP, only for you to put it before him and then take it back. Now, what you are having now is natural reaction. You cannot ask somebody you are beating not to cry. Wike is crying that he did not go to court. Now, let me address the particular question you asked about going to court or not going to court. You must realize that Wike, as a person, does not use a politician's filter. So he might not come out plainly to say I have gone to court, but nobody can go to court and put the name of somebody as important as the governor of Rivers State there without his hand being in it. So, he has only done the thing of the politicians now by saying he didn't go to court. It is left to be seen how this is going to play out on the long run. But I see a crisis reading PDP. They have already lost their two strongest hold in Nigeria, the South-South and the South-East. The Labour Party has completely pushed them aside there, and now they are losing some of their strongest men. Don't forget that some of their best performing governors, the governor of Ebonyi State, has left to the APC. The governor of Cross River is not one of the best performers, but he is a governor, a PDP governor, has left to the APC. So it is a big problem, and they have to watch it keenly.
Okay. Have you seen the picture of reconciliation? A cartoonist has come up with a picture to say, okay, this is Atiku and this is Wike. They are on the same table. They are reconciling. We need to dialogue. We need to talk. We need to judge. All right. Now look at this picture. Both of them seems not sincere to themselves. You see Atiku having a koboko, a bulala over there, and say, well, I'm just watching you. I'm just waiting for you so that you just need to come and work with me. By the time you finish working with me, I will teach you a lesson in your life. But the other guy is also a rugged guy. He has his broken bottle around him there, and he's also hiding it to say, I'm going to stab you on your head today, you this allergy. So what do you make of this? Have you seen that picture?
Yes, ASUU, the cartoonist,
yes,
is my Facebook friend.
Good.
So when I saw it, it's a very funny story. But that picture captures fully the thinking within the PDP. There's this no love lost approach to the issues in the PDP.
Yeah.
You cannot fool a Wike by trying to goad him to work with you. After working with you, maybe you emerge as president, then you will now start dealing with it because you will no longer have immunity as governor. Mm-hmm. So the man is already counting, using his tongue to count his teeth. Yes. And he's doing it smartly. So I don't blame him at all. You cannot treat people like that. The PDP again has, having failed as a ruling party, haven't proven itself to be a monumental disaster as a ruling party, and they were roundly rejected by Nigerians in 2015, as again failed as an opposition party. Completely failed as an opposition party. I think the crisis that we have.
Do you see Atiku uniting this country? If he's unable to unite himself and Wike, do you see him uniting the PDP and uniting the country?
Let us quickly talk about Atiku the unifier. It is one of those dubious terms that have been used to qualify Atiku, and I want to quickly dispel it in this program. Atiku has been running for president. If you are under 30 today, the first time Atiku ran for president, you were not born. That is the fact. Now, in 1999, when he had already won governor of Adamawa State, Obasanjo, the president Obasanjo, went to pick him to come and become vice president to him, and they won elections in 1999. I kid you not, in 2003, Atiku picked form to contest against Obasanjo, who was his principal. Is that a character of somebody who unites? That's a character of somebody who divides. Now, but let's even leave that. In 2007, again, he left his party.
Somebody contested the election. He contested the election because he has all the right to contest for the election.
You do have all the right.
Yes.
I mean, being a unifier is not a constitutional requirement, so you don't have to give it to yourself if you are not a unifier. In 2007, he went to the ACN and teamed up with Tinubu then and got the ticket. And then he ran on a Muslim ticket. Himself and the banker from Lagos, Fola, I can't remember the complete name now. He ran on a the same Muslim ticket they are condemning today. And then I'm not, let it be known that I am not supporting a Muslim ticket anyway. So I want to use that as a disclaimer so that they won't say, yes, I'm supporting a Muslim. No, I'm not. But I am saying that Atiku does not have the moral rectitude to condemn a Muslim ticket, having run on a Muslim ticket prior. In 2011, we had a sitting president, Goodluck Jonathan, of the PDP. Again, Atiku picked from and ran against Goodluck Jonathan in the PDP. Then, in 2015, he left the PDP and went to the ACN, APC. Even when there was a consensus that they should give it to Buhari, Atiku again picked the form and ran against Buhari in APC in 2015, and he would have won if not for the political mathematics of Asiwaju. In 2000 after 2015, he left APC again and went to PDP. In 2019, against popular demand, it was Tambuwal that a lot of persons were pushing for them. He ran again and got the ticket. And this is 2022 election, and he's running again. Let's even talk about the home front. Just recently, himself and his wife fought publicly, and they were dragging properties. His wife from the east, they dragged property. In fact, it became a court case. So a man who cannot even unify his political party, a man who cannot unify his home front. I mean, how else do you measure the ability to unite Nigeria? So that being a unifier is a ruse, and everybody should discard it with what it is. As what it is, as a.
It's okay. There's nothing wrong if he wants to run all his life. There's nothing wrong with it. Have you seen this video where Wike, the governor of Rivers State, you know, the man can dance very well. Don't forget. Have you seen that video? Have you seen that governor dancing over there?
But of course, I
take a look. Let's watch that dance, and you see this guy doesn't have a problem. Look at him. Okay, but this man is just telling us that he doesn't have a problem.
In our youthful parlance, this is what we call pepper. So he's more or less trying to pepper them, and he's letting them know that commissioning his projects in Rivers is not bothered about the politics of the national. Is concentrating on winning election in Rivers. He has said it. That its major concentration is to win elections in Rivers State. He's not bothered about who contests elsewhere, who does what, when, and how. So his primary purpose is winning the election in Rivers. And I think they should leave him alone. If you say the man does not matter, and the man has not decided to focus on his business, you should not judge him. All intents and purposes.
Okay. Thank you. If you're watching us live, the number to call if you want to contribute are displayed on the screen. Call us and share your thoughts with us. Let us go to this video. Last year, there was this video in Edo State where the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, promised to fix a portion of the federal road, that is Sapele Road now, because the road was bad and people protested. And the governor came in there and took the shine and said, "No, I'm going to fix this road. I'm going." Well, look, listen to him. Let's listen to the governor. You know.
Let me make a promise to you. Without federal government, we will survive. Yes. Tomorrow, I will bring my contractors here. I will bring my contractors here. Just promise me one thing. Open up the roads. I will bring the contractors. You and your youth leaders, you will protect them, let them rehabilitate this stretch from bypass to from ASUU. They will start work tomorrow.
Okay. Did you hear him, Mr. Zachary? Did you hear him? He said he will bring his contractor here, that he cannot continue to depend on the federal government. And look, the federal government can go to hell and leave Edo State to perform. They said he will bring the contractor there to work the next day. That is tomorrow. This is a video. It's a last year video. It's about a year now. People protested, and the governor came and took the shine that he was going to do that road, fix that road. As we speak, the road has not been fixed. Mr. Zachary?
Yeah, I would, usually the governor, Edo State governor, is used to making very big mouth promises, and promises that are unattainable, and promises that he has no intention of fulfilling. A litany. This is the same person who promised that he was going to build an airport in Edo North. This is the same governor who promised he was going to build a port in Gelegele. This is the same governor who promised he was going to build a light rail from Okpela through Ekpoma to Benin. This is the same governor that said he's going to bring a University of Innovation in Benin. This is the same governor who said he's going to build an industrial park in Benin. Having said all these big mouth promises, I was thinking that if you cannot achieve the big mouth promises, if you cannot achieve those big mouth promises that you made, you should be able to achieve the smaller promises that you made, like rehabilitating a failed portion on a federal road. There is nothing wrong with state governors building federal roads. As governor, Peter Obi, the present candidate of the Labour Party today, build federal roads. If you are traveling from Benin to Onitsha, if you get to, once you cross the first Niger Bridge, I call it first Niger Bridge because it's the second Niger Bridge, you will see a 10-lane road that was built by Peter Obi. Let us not even go far. In Edo State, where all of us come from, where both of us come from, the former governor built federal roads. Apapapa is a federal road. This same Sapele road is a federal road. New Lagos road is a federal road. Ubawa Lagos road is a federal road. They were all built by the former governor, and for that, the federal government returned 16 billion naira to the present governor. Those monies, first of all, Edo people did not know that money was returned. It was done in secret, and only now that we have found out, we just found out that the money, you cannot even account for it. What stops you from saving your people from pain and penury? Well, I don't want to comment too much because, like you said, it's a federal road. But even the state roads that we have, it's an eyesore. The quality of roads, the quality of projects is a disgrace. And since it is a disgrace, a man who cannot even fix his own, he wanted to go and fix his elder brother's own. That is the case in Edo. It is a shame that a governor, after God is government, and the head of government in Edo State is the governor. It is a shame that the governor is not a man that can stand by his words. Having climbed on a podium to say, I will fix this road tomorrow. He didn't say next tomorrow. He didn't say next day. He didn't say I will fix this road in the future. He said, I will fix this road tomorrow. 1 year later, we are talking about it on the John Mayaki show. It's a shame.
Okay, if you are there, you want to join us with your video. Mr. Dennis, try join us with your video. Join on video or call us. Or just use the phone number right there and call into the show. If you are watching us live, call us. The numbers to call are there. Okay, Mr. Zachary, when you accuse the governor of not doing the Gelegele seaport, are you sure we are not already, some ships are not arriving there already and that you are not aware? What about the airport in Edo North? You need to find out. Maybe these facilities are there and we are not aware, and maybe the governor, it's a silent governor, he doesn't commission projects. It's not like Wike who will line up projects and want to commission them, and no, now the Mr. Governor is a quiet working. Do you know his name? Wake and See. Have you thought of that? Mr. Governor is Wake and See, and he may have done most of this thing. Try and find out. What do you think?
Well, it's not wake and see again. It's no longer wake and see. It's now wake and sleep. Because you wake up, you don't see anything. You go back to sleep, you still don't see anything. You wake up the next day, you still not see anything. So, I don't know how to, like they say, like it's popular in Edo State. I've not been in Edo for a while. And they call it the audio government. What those are audio projects? It is just mere talk, mere braggadocio. It's like in secondary school when you are talking about your father with your classmates, you almost say your father is bigger than the governor, so that your classmates will respect you a little more. I think that is what the governor, although he's an adult, he's a grown man and he's governor of Edo State, I think he's an adult that is still, he behaves like a baby who is trapped in the body of an adult. I mean, I'm trying to measure my words.
You can't do that now.
But of course, so I have the right to make past comments on his performance, and his performance has been very disastrous. In 6 years and counting in Edo State, there is no single project that we can point to. Even this second term that is mega agenda. There is no single project that is mega in the agenda. It's a disappointment of immense proportion. Okay. When I look at governors like Umai, I feel very sad. Hello. It's more like when God was sharing governors, did not share to people.
Hello. Good afternoon. You are on to the John Mayaki show.
Yeah. I don't want to contribute my quota to this television discussion.
Okay, your name and where you calling from, please?
My name is Beture Steven, calling from Abuja.
Egure Steven?
Yeah, Beture Steven, sir.
Okay, Beture Steven, go ahead with your contribution, please.
So it is very obvious that the governor has just been making empty promises. He hasn't done anything at all. Is it the different module that he signed with a different organization and the like? Has he been able to actualize anyone? There is even a report that came today that is even local government workers 6 months salary. They won't do nothing. And this is the same person that is being surrounded by miscreants who are busy hailing him. Midget that are busy hailing him for nothing. When he went on vacation, when he came back, they were even celebrating him. For what reason? So I think Governor Obaseki is not doing anything, and it's a regret that anyway I didn't vote for him because I knew that he cannot be able to do anything. That he doesn't have that capacity. Anyway, he delivered in his first tenure as a result of should I say his master or his predecessor, the man who brought him into power. He was able to lecture him well. But in this second tenure, you have to execute any project at all. So it's a shame to those people at large that instead of us going forward, they step backward. So I really challenge you to wake up to responsibility and duty. So this is my contribution.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Beture. We sincerely appreciate this call. That is what we see in Edo State, that Mr. Governor promised to fix a portion of Satire Road. Yes, of course, it's a federal road. We've seen governors who fix federal road and they collected money for it. Did I hear the governor of Rivers State said he invited the speaker of the House of Rep, Femi Gbajabamila, that he should come and commission his project because of what the speaker did at the National Assembly in ensuring that some part of the money he spent in fixing federal roads was returned to the state. And so he wants the speaker to come and commission the project. Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Good afternoon. Yes. Yeah, you are on to the John Mayaki show. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Yeah, I'm staying from Edo State, I'm in Nigeria. So I want to contribute about the governor of Edo State. The man is not really working. It's good in grammar. I confuse people because he's very educated. So, Obaseki, I don't think that I don't have also a second tenor. Oshomoro made a big mistake for also supporting. I'm also a criminal. Oshomoro should have brought a better candidate. So, in this time now, Nigeria is having a memorandum failure and the terrorists is coming out. Tinubu is coming out. Atiku is coming out. I'll be the best option for Nigeria because even the Tinubu is worse. Because it's hot already and Atiku is already corrupted, which everybody knows about it. It was a situation I don't think what is. Everyone was a corrupt politician. And Obaseki will not afford any case.
Hello, sir. Hello,
so
sir.
I don't have one option.
Hello? Are you there? Are you listening to me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
You need to withdraw the word you use, corrupt and criminal. You need to withdraw them so that we can continue this discussion.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So Edo State was not having option.
No, tell us you withdraw the. Tell us you withdraw those words.
Okay, which was criminal? Okay, I withdraw it.
All right.
So the problem is Edo State that they don't have option. So Ezeyamu, they don't trust him in Edo State. So they rather to battle with Obaseki because they feel the Oshuma will maltreat him. Then even Obaseki does not have any project to show for him to be elected. It was a sympathizer vote he have. Obaseki is one of the local governors I ever seen in Edo State that are freely elected without any campaign, and people never trust him, but he always get elected in sympathize in second term.
Thank you so much.
So what I don't think now is to look forward. Who is blessed to take over from Obaseki? Thank you for the.
Thank you so very much. We appreciate the call. Yeah. Right. Yeah. We appreciate that call. Feel free call us if you are there watching us on the John Mayaki show. Here we are discussing Wike on Atiku's throat. We are also discussing Obaseki's promise to fix a portion of a federal road, Sapele Road, that is bad for over 1 year. He went there to say he was going to fix the road the next day. A year after, the road is still in a bad, terrible shape. And people protested last week. People protested, massive protest in Benin over the same road. I mean, what kilometer is it that the governor cannot fix? If you are there, call us, share your thoughts with us on the issues being considered today on the John Mayaki show. Mr. Dennis, you are trying to connect with us on Zoom. Okay, let's pick this call. I'll be back to you, Dennis. Hello, good afternoon or good evening.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good evening. Your name and where you calling from?
Hello.
Your name and where you calling from? All right, we lost that call. Mr. Zakari, your final word on Obaseki.
Disappointing. I believe that when Edo people went to the polls in 2020 and gave him majority votes, it's because he blamed every other person apart from himself in his first tenure, that he had a godfather, that's why it didn't work, that his party, the APC, were on his throat, that's why it didn't work. Now he's in a brand new party. The only thing he has achieved in that party is to destroy the party. Edo State PDP is a party that is destroyed, totally destroyed, annihilated. So if I want to qualify it in any words, it should be disappointing.
All right, thank you. We'll then move on to this no-sitting video we saw where some guys dressed in red and black or red and white, they call themselves pirates. It's a confraternity or so. Look at them. They chanting some song. Say, oh, because somebody is not, you can't do that. That is quite derogatory. Have you seen this video, Mr. Zakari?
Yes, I watched it. Words fail me to describe how I feel. As Tiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu could be anybody's grandfather or father.
Yeah.
Imagining he was my father and people made those kind of comments about him. Anybody can fall sick, whether young, old, rich, poor. I think it didn't come well at all, and it's quite disappointing that it happened the way it did. However, I think Asiwaju has mostly brought this upon himself. This embarrassment is needless. This embarrassment is what he ought not to have faced. If he had stayed in his role as a kingmaker and supported a much younger candidate, a healthier candidate, to succeed Muhammadu Buhari as president in the APC. However, he insisted that it is Emi'lokan, it was his turn, and Emi'lokan that was supposed to be a chant for encouragement has become a chant for ridicule and mockery. It's heartbreaking, it's disappointing, and I think going forward, we should try to focus more on the issues, although as pertaining the issues, the APC has very little to campaign with because of the dismal performance of the Buhari administration, but we should focus more on the issues. If we debate the issues, we will dwell less on the health, the private business of each candidate. However, you must also realize again that Nigerians are wary. We had a Muhammadu Buhari who spent a sizable number of days, if you accumulate it, if not up to years, his administration taking treatment in London, became a medical tourist general of the Federation. I mean, Nigerians don't want to go through that kind of pain again.
But look at where the country is. But Asiwaju is not sick. He's not in the hospital. He's not been to the hospital for the past months.
He has gone on medical vacation twice in the last 2 years.
Are you saying
that, anybody can?
Mr. Zachary, have you not gone on? Let me come back to you. Let me pick this call and come back to you. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, your name and where you calling from?
My name is Michael. I'm calling from Akoko, Igara precisely.
All right, Michael, go on with your contribution, please.
I can see that right now. Well, I want to commend you for the good job you have been doing on your show.
Thank you.
It is actually been educating and an eye-opener to people from Edo State and Nigerians who live in the diaspora. Thank you very much, Mr. John Mayaki.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I just quickly want to speak on the topic at hand now, this Emi'lokan song. I wouldn't want to say that the pirates have ridiculed the person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Rather, I would say that the pirates are just being satirical with their songs. Hello, Mr. John Mayaki.
Yes, we are with you. Go ahead.
They were just being satirical with their songs. They were having fun. I think they held their national convention, and as in their statements released, this was part of their procession. It's just unfortunate that people are trying to make it a kind of political issue. It is not. These guys were just having fun, and it's like a kind of gyration song. They only use that Emi'lokan as a chorus. And in gyration too, even with other organizations like the Kegites, it is well known that even their own members, their leaders too, they sing satirical songs just to have fun and people join in the chorus. In fact, this Emi'lokan song can become a song in the church. Emi'lokan, it is my turn. Jesus do it for me, it is my turn. It is my turn for favor. So it is not a ridiculous song. I can go on and sing it for you if you want me to. So it is not a ridiculous song. It is a very perfect music, and very soon people will start singing it in the church. It is my turn, it is my turn, it is my turn. It is my turn for success. It is my turn. No, it is my turn.
Listen,
it is
Mr.
my
Michael,
turn. It is my turn. Emi'lokan. So it is not. People should not say that the person, the personality of Muhammadu Buhari is very ridiculous. I disagree.
Mr. Michael.
The person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Mr. Michael.
Yes, Mr. John, I am with you.
All right. Now let us look at it from this perspective. Emi'lokan. The hand is shake, leg is shake. I mean, how do you now look at a publication by a satirist or Maseye, a columnist, a journalist or Maseye in the Nation newspaper. When you said obituary, when you see obituary, and you are here, you are saying, now people have condemned Mr. Maseye for that obituary article. Now, are you happy with that? Have you read that article?
Yes, I did. I have read it. Well, what I am saying here is this. The hand they shake, leg they shake. Nobody's name was mentioned. We have other people's hands are shaking.
Okay.
And it's just like you carry a word from this place and carry another word from another place, add them together to form a very sweet music. Nobody said Tinubu led the shake, Michael led the shake, John led the... No.
Mr. Michael,
Nobody said that. It is just naysayers and people do not mean well for the person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu that are saying that these people were referring to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I also want to put it that this organization that sang that song, I believe that there are people, top APC leaders who are members of that organization. And so they will not want their own candidates to be ridiculed. So they were just having fun. I don't think they meant it to ridicule the person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Michael. I think you make a good publicist and a good propaganda. I mean, that is quite a brilliant... Mr. Zekeri, did you see that? Did you see the angle to it?
What Mr. Michael have done in trying to
no, that's a brilliant... Yes.
Well, I may, even if I want to agree with Mr. Michael that gentlemen, not so gentlemen of the pirate confraternity were just having fun. I mean, the fun they've had has turned to a ridicule for the presidential candidate of the APC. They say Emi'lokan hand the shake, leg the shake, Baba went nowhere. They shout Emi'lokan. There's only one man.
But look at Michael. The way Michael went about it, Michael said, no, it's not so.
well, I mean, I can't begrudge him.
Yes.
I don't know if Michael is trying to. You can't tell.
I was thinking these guys were drunk on palm wine, and it's a reflection of palm wine activity, you know. When these Kegite guys, they finish drinking palm wine. Were you a Kegite in school?
No, I never was. My social life did not streams. But I have a few persons who were members, but it's their way of doing things. I mean, honestly, they might not have had any malicious intent in remixing that song. Asiwaju did his own. He went to visit a core northern politician sometime ago and said, Emi'lokan that they're using to laugh at him has become Emi'lokan Eledumare. That it is my turn. Oh Lord, it is my turn. Now they have done their own remix. Emi'lokan, Baba went nowhere, and the shake, leg the shake. They may be having fun, but the fun they were having has turned into a ridicule of national proportion. That's where we are right now.
Well, it could just be campaign for the APC candidate, if you ask me. Let me tell you, there are some propaganda that you need to watch so that it doesn't even it doesn't give you popularity. Yeah, in propaganda, yeah, in media management and communication, if you think you want to ridicule someone, you could just give the person undeserved publicity. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay. Now, did you see the article written by the Postmaster? I mean, do you know the Postmaster? Do you know what I call the Postmaster?
No, sir.
No, now. You know, you should know him now. He's very poetic. And, you know, in his articles, a journalist, a columnist with the Nation newspaper, he is all about polemics when he mentioned obituary in his article. It's all about polemics, if you ask me. Like Michael wants to claim now. You know, the great columnist penned the other one, obituary, and I like the fluidity of his prose. He's an intellectual of no mean repute, if you ask me. People say Omaseye served Peter Obi that article in a hot pepper soup sauce in satire. You know, but I want to ask you, did Omaseye exhausted the arrows in his journalistic quiver?
I think he did. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a trained journalist. I think he went, he did, and he went a little bit overboard. The heading alone, just like we're talking about the Emi'lokan.
Obituary does not mean the man is dead, isn't it? I mean.
No, when you call an obituary for somebody, what does it mean? You want to bury the person?
No, it's all about it's connotative and denotative meanings that matters here.
Yes. Now, one thing you have to understand, Mr. John, is that not everybody operates at your frequency.
Yeah.
And as a yes frequency. People do things literally. And, you know, titling that piece obituary, it could be something else. It could be another heading, another topic.
Yeah.
But I think he achieved what he wanted to achieve. He got maximum traction. He got the attention he deserved. You know, he took a bite of the popularity, the social media popularity. Let me not say social media, because that has become a derogatory term now. The popularity both in the social media and on ground of Peter Obi took a bite. The Peter Obi, the people with the obedience, for a moment, focused their laser beam on him. And I think what he said, he could not eat. That was the problem. Because thousands of persons did graphic design and put his picture and said obituary, Sam Omashe. I mean, he said obituary, referring to Peter Obi. They did obituary graphics and he ran to the press to say that they are threatening his life. That's giving what you cannot take. I'm not a qualified journalist, I'm not a graduate in literature or linguistics, but I think we should have moderation in everything we do.
Okay.
That offend, it's like you go and write a piece about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Kano. No matter how, you know, maybe you are comparing a politician with him. No matter how intelligent you try to spin it, it will always rub off wrongly on the sensibilities of the people. So public speakers, public commentators, public writers, journalists should be sensitive to the sensibilities of their community. You must give. I am not a supporter of Asiwaju, but I cannot support that they are saying Baba no well, hand the shake, leg the shake. I cannot support that because tomorrow I will be 70, and you know, you are not God. Some people are dead before 70. He managed to be alive. It might be me who wants to be present, and my hand is shake, my leg is shake, and somebody makes music with it.
All right.
So that's going overboard.
All right. Two things before we leave this topic. My lecturer in UK, one professor, I won't mention his name now, he told us that he's so sorry he couldn't come for the class because the mother the mother has some neurotic problem. In fact, that the mother was deranged. You know, he mentioned it in the class that the mother was deranged, and so he had to take the mother to the care home and some of those things. And I was like shocked. How dare you come to the class and tell us your mother is deranged? You don't do that. In Africa, if you try that in Africa, you have problem with people. I also know.
You probably not.
But come again.
You probably not graduate if you try it in Africa. In Nigeria, to be specific.
No, the lecturer told us in the class that the mother was deranged, mentally deranged. No Nigeria will tell you he's sick. No president, nobody, even a private person will not tell you he's sick. Everybody wants to keep their problem, their sickness, even when they need to confess it for help. Now, I've also known people who are 50. In fact, if they are 50, 60, they had what do you call it? There's this sickness, the handshaking and all of those. It's called Parkinson disease. Now, some persons is hereditary, if you ask me. Some other persons get into all those problems with their lifestyle, and but more importantly is that you don't need to be old to of course it's an old age disease, if you ask me, of course scientifically, but I've seen guys who are 50, 60 who are also battling all of this, and this is all about nature, it's all about life. I do not think
that's true.
Yeah, I do not think that we should degenerate to that. 2023 election, I sure will not degenerate into that. If I don't want to vote for anybody, I won't mock him. I'm not going. You are not God. This is somebody they said, oh, he traveled abroad. He's going for medical trip. He's sick. He's not going to come back. I'm not sure this guy. Yeah. Oh, in fact, it's okay. Africa, we have a long way to go. Let's leave that and let's go into this issue of insecurity in Kaduna State. the governor has written a letter to the president. Say, Mr. President, I need your help. Mr. President, I don't have capacity for this anymore. Mr. President, although I know Nigerians voted for me, Kaduna people voted for me, but I'm not sure I can cope with this anymore. Terrorists are here. Bandits are here. And Saudi. In fact, in Kaduna State, you have terrorists different from, there's another Islamic sect, or I don't know. In fact, they battle them. What do you call them? Ansaru, yeah. Now, these guys, both these, in fact, you have government, you have terrorists, you have Ansaru. Now, these guys are battling for space in Kaduna State. And the governor is there telling us, Mr. Governor, Mr. President, help me. I can't. What are you doing there? What are you doing, Mr. Governor? Look at Ondo State Governor. Look at Southwest governors setting up security. Alternative security architecture. Look at Benue State writing letter to the president. Mr. President, please approve for us, or is it an approval now for license to buy arms? What do you think, Kaduna State Governor? What do you think, Mr. Zakari?
I think it's my opinion that Malam Nasir El-Rufai is past his prime. In 2006, when I went to Abuja the first time, I think he was Minister of FCT then. We needed to see the kind of work he was doing. He would bring down 5-6-story buildings that were not built according to plan. He would bring it down to the ground. He was that rugged. He feared nobody. He was not bothered about anything you had to say about him. He was not bothered. As Kaduna governor, to have such a man who had that kind of a heart when he was FCT minister, now as Kaduna governor, struggling with terrorists and bandits who use bike. It's distasteful. It's something that not be talked about. I stopped forgiving governors for insecurity after the Boko Haram made attempt on the life of Borno governor twice. And the man will still tell you that tonight he's going to sleep in Mongunu. He will tell the military authorities, tonight I'm going to sleep in Bama. If there is Boko Haram in Bama, because the military authorities will not want the governor to be killed on their incompetence, they will make sure they go there and clear it. Some of them are on record. Some of these things I'm saying are on record. Professor Babagana Zulu, twice they made an attempt on his life. They'll go there and clear before he gets there. And that is how he was doing it. He cannot control the military, cannot control the police. So what he does, he will tell them, today, I'm going to sleep in Konduga. Please, Army General, I'm going to sleep in Commissioner of Police, I'm sleeping in Konduga. So they will have to go to Konduga to make sure that they clear the terrorists there so that the governor will not be killed. And on 2 occasions, they made an attempt on his life. You see, all these armchair governors we now have in Nigeria, who talk more like political commentators and public affairs analysts. Instead of them to be solving problems, they are discussing the problem. It's heartbreaking. I mean, nothing stops Nasir El-Rufai from saying that the place where terrorists are presently staying in Kaduna, that's where he wants to pass the night.
You relocate government house there.
That the military and the police and the infrastructure, the security infrastructure, this is not even setting up any security agent now. But the state governor, though he has a civilian JTM. So incompetence. They excuse incompetence for everyone. Everybody wants to take a bite of Buhari. Everybody is insulting Buhari. Everybody is blaming Buhari. Whereas in their own little spaces, you see them fail. I just came to the realization today now that a state governor is owing 6 months' salary. So he's owing 6 months plus local government and primary healthcare workers. And this is a man who boasts every month that he's paying salaries. Incompetence. Terrorists have taken over your forest. If you were having farms in those forests, if those forests were used to produce cotton, were used to produce wheat, that we don't have to import wheat from a war-torn Ukraine. Ukraine is fighting war presently. We are still importing wheat from them.
Yeah.
If you were using Kaduna land, vast land in Kaduna to produce wheat, terrorists will not grow in it. But when you stay in government house, you surround yourself with 50 policemen, you think you are safe. Very soon, you come to the realization that you are living in a fool's paradise, and that's exactly what is happening in Canada.
Wonderful.
Living in a fool's paradise.
Call us if you are watching us and you want to share with us your thoughts. Please call us and talk to us. You see, Mr. Zachary, my worry is that we have failed as a people, including myself and yourself. We have all failed. Yeah, a government has failed. Our leaders.
If we have, I think I'll do better. They have failed.
No, look at
not take responsibilities for their failure.
Look at our failure, including in all of us Nigerians. We have all failed. Look at it. Look at it. Now we have councillors in the units. We have councillors in the localities. Okay, these are government representative councillors. Leave the civil servants out of it. Of course, they are the most corrupt. Leave the civil servants for now. You have councillors. You have local government chairmen. For example, in Kaduna State, councillors, local government chairmen, we have supervisory councillors, we have then we have House of Assembly, we have House of Rep, we have senators, and we have governor. Okay, all these guys come from a community. They all come from community. Don't forget, we have policemen in almost every community. We have policemen. At least a police unit. So what happened to information gathering? What happened to, oh, I know my neighbor. Oh, I know these people. I know what they do. Oh, what happened? How come? If the governor is from that village or from that local government where terrorists have taken over, will the governor say, oh, Mr. President, you have voted in, number one, for the security of the people. Security of the people. And you collect security vote every month. And then you are writing letter to Mr. President to come and help you. Before we leave this point, if you are there watching us, please call us and share your thoughts with us. Mr. Zachary, let's go to this final issue on the ASUU. Somebody said education is a scam. You go to school, your clothes is torn, you can't sew it, you go to seamstress. You want the seamstress to do it for you. You go to school, you can't make soap. You go to school, you can't fix your car that is bad. People learn mechanical engineering in school, people learn electronics engineering in school, but they can't fix their battery, they can't fix their radio, they can't fix their TV. It's education is scam. Now we are home. Now, not just that we are home, for over how many, 170, how many days?
176, 177 now, almost going to 180 now.
Now, you can imagine how many girls, how many students, female students that would have been pregnant by now. You can imagine how many of our boys would have joined criminality, would have been kidnapping by now. You know, just imagine. There's no future. I don't see future for this country. I'm sorry, I could be pessimistic, but I simply don't see any future. Of course, we are going to stand for the unity of the country. We are going to stand for the development of this country. But with what I see, that a government will sit down and we allow students to go, or if you call it lecturers, ASUU, to go on strike for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. If it's your business, will you shut your business down? Mr. Zachary, what do you think?
We start from, if it is their children, will they allow them to stay at home for 175, 176 days in a year of 365 days? That's the question. As a father, if Zara Buhari, the daughter of Muhammad Buhari, was a student in University of Abuja, and she is at home due to ASUU strike. As a father, as the president, when you go out and you come back and you see Zara every day sitting at home, will you like it? As they are sitting at home.
Mr. Zachary, let me take this call. Hello. Hello. Good evening. Your name and where you calling from?
I'm not calling, sir. I'm calling from Atiku.
Your name, please.
I am Michael Elru, sir. I am calling from Atiku.
Michael, go ahead, please.
I want to comment on the issue concerning the letter referred
Yes.
to the president.
Go ahead.
Hello. Okay. You know, just that, like I always say, that the issue of Nigeria, I will blame Buhari issue. The major problem we have in Nigeria are these state governors. The majority of them are incompetent. They are not strong enough to lead the state. So imagine a governor receiving a security vote every month. He's writing to the president that his incapacitated or the issue of security challenges in the state is beyond him. It's uncalled for. According to Aristotle, it said the state exists for the sake of good life. That every state is submitted to provide the vision of labor for its citizens. Such state shouldn't be called a state. Election is shortcoming now. You may see people are making promises and orders. And at the end, you discover that out of these promises they have made to the people, they cannot even manage to fulfill a percentage of all these promises. It is a high time we change the narrative. I will advise you talk about a local government and another. I will also, if another thing is that the National Assembly are part of the problem we have in Nigeria also. If the National Assembly could make a local government an independent body, not tied to the state, you discover that all the departments of this country, from the federal, state, and local government, will render their stateless service judiciously.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You discover that in some of these states, they don't conduct local government elections. You discover that even in Kaduna State now, there are no local government officials, no chairman, no councillor, and others. And this allocation, they tie it to themselves. How will such states be effective in terms of security and others?
Thank you so very much. We appreciate this call. Yes. Mr. Zakari, give us your final thoughts before we go for this show.
I want to quickly just add my voice to the ASUU agitation. I think it's long overdue and it should be resolved. However, let me quickly point out a few things. When I entered the University of Benin in the year 2010, school fees then was 10,000 naira for social sciences and arts, and then 12,000 naira for those of us who were in sciences. I studied industrial mathematics there. Today, I think it's around 15,000. I'm not sure it's still up to 20,000 for per year for a university degree. In the UK, a university degree costs about £15,000. £15,000 in naira is that's the least.
A university degree? A university degree?
Yeah.
Or a master's degree?
From 15,000 to about 50,000. And if you convert that, you'll see that it's around 12 million. In Ghana, just close by Ghana, a university degree per year, the money you pay, tuition per year, is about between 1 million to 4 million. In Nigeria, it is 15,000. You cannot reap where you did not sow. I think it's time that we really sit down and discuss our education. What we have now, it is now, if you go and check the ranking of universities now, private universities are now beating federal universities. Covenant University is ranking so high, I think one of the highest in Africa, and one of the, if not the highest in Nigeria. Afe Babalola, ranking very Afe Babalola in Ekiti. These are private universities that those days, nobody wants to go to private universities because they believe those who cannot pass JAM are the ones who go to private universities. Federal universities were the height of university education. Today, those federal universities are abandoned, they are decrepit. In fact, they advise you now, if you have children, just send them to private universities. You cannot afford universities abroad. It's time we sit down and holistically look at ways to restructure our education so that it can serve the purpose. Even if ASUU goes back to class now, what are they still learning? You will still see bribery in terms of blocking. You will still see sexual harassment for grades. There's a disgusting video of a dean of a student in University of Delta State, Agbo, University of Delta, Agbo, of a dean of students giving lingus to one of his female students who is old enough to be the grandfather. I mean, these things will continue to happen because in fact, it's so bad that you don't even know where to start talking from. But it's time that we sat down, and that's why I must commend the leader of ASUU, the chairman of ASUU, Professor Obaseki. Anytime he pushes ideas about what education should look like, you see a man who understands the issues. And I think that's why he's putting his feet on the ground and insisting that the government must do the right thing. It is time for us to sit down and completely decouple our education and reassemble it for productivity.
All right, thank you, Mr. Zachary Idris. Finally, we want to advise that it is electioneering period. We want to advise that you don't allow anybody to use you to insult anybody. Let me tell you, if the governor, the president wins, whoever God, it's not about God. Whoever Nigerians vote for, it's not about God. Let's leave God out of political or election and all of those. Look, if you think it's all about God, go to church and sleep there and pray and come and win election. This thing is all about politics. Whoever God designed or favors to win will not come and appoint you because you insulted somebody. Now, if you insult anybody because of a president to be, tomorrow you are likely to insult that president too. So, if you break someone's head with a codger or with a machete because of Peter Obi, because of Atiku or Bola Tinubu of APC, you are not going to get appointment or recognition for it. If you get that today and that money finishes, you exhaust that peanut, you are not, nobody respects you in the society. We want to advise that during this electioneering, let's take it easy. What will be. Get your PVC, vote, and move ahead with your life. In fact, nobody owes you anything. No political leader owes you anything. You owe everything to yourself. I want to appreciate everybody who joined us, who called us, and who participated in this show today. This is all we can do for today. Mr. Zachary, we appreciate you a lot. We'll be coming back again on other issues. Thank you. This is all we can do today. We appreciate you all. Bye for now.